Good morning. How the devil are you all doing this fine day? Thank God it's Friday. Hope you're all fit and well. I'm going to say a few quick hellos. I've already done it automatically, but I'm going to do it nonetheless. Starting at the bottom and working my way up. Good morning to Dan Cullen, to Steve Williamson, to Peter McKenna, to Mick Norton, to Mark Whiting, to Kenneth Hatcher. I think I've got everybody there, but I'm not entirely sure. But good morning to you, everyone. Oh, just one more to add to the list. Good morning to our friend Jonathan Duras. Good morning, sir. And we begin today with bad news and with sad news. In actual fact, I'm going to say good morning to Andy Hare and to the Darvelous Andy Darville, who's just joined us as well. Steve Williamson says he's got one of these caps. Bit of a rarity, bit of a collector's item, this one. Yeah, I'm wearing it for a reason. Just after the show yesterday, I had a message from Martin over at the Norwegian Earth Mover on Instagram to say, whatever happened to the hat that I gave you? It was actually hanging up on the wall there, but I haven't worn it for a while, so I thought I'd break it out. So good morning, Martin, when you turn up. Look, I'm wearing your hat. I didn't sell it on eBay, I promise. And our friend Dave Paget has just joined us all the way down from Kent in, the Garden of England. I've already said we're going to start today with some bad news and with some sad news. Today marks the 7th anniversary of the Grenfell Tower disaster, in which 72 people lost their lives due to shortcomings in the UK construction industry. 7 years. And has anything changed? Is there greater scrutiny on the materials used in construction today? Are all tower blocks now fitted with sprinkler systems? Do they each have an evacuation plan should, God forbid, this happen again? All the grief, all the anger, and all the outrage that followed that tragedy, and yet it's been kicked into the long grass by endless bureaucracy and red tape. It was said at the time that this would be a turning point for the UK construction industry. Anybody else feel like that turn is still a long way off? It certainly feels like that here. And I said there's bad news and sad news. So that was the bad news. The sad news. Although we've yet to receive formal notification from the company itself, it appears that attachment specialist ECY Hallmark has filed for administration. At the same time, Thomas Plant Hire has reported on LinkedIn that it has acquired ECY's excavator attachment business as part of a pre-packed deal with the administrators that will see 20 ECY jobs retained. The attachments will be offered through the newly formed Thomas Attachments Company. ECY Hallmark celebrated its 60th anniversary in 2022. It represented brands like Trevi Benny, Steel Wrist, Dynaset, MTB Breakers. Also, back in the day, used to represent Furukawa and Rama Hammers as well. But the company is probably best known for pioneering the oil quick system. Let me do that again. But the company is probably best known for pioneering the oil quick system here in the UK. In fact, ECY's Rick Yarwood made such a positive contribution to the UK demolition industry that he was actually made a fellow of the Institute of Demolition Engineers. I'd like to personally wish Rick, Karen, and the rest of the ECY Hallmark team all the best. Hillhead will not be quite the same without them. Incidentally, the 4th episode of our AI on AI podcast is scheduled to drop about 50 minutes time, I guess. In this episode, myself and my co-host, my AI co-host, Bruce, we're looking at how AI might be used to identify, diagnose, and possibly even prevent mental health issues in the demolition and construction industry. And I'll tell you now, one of Bruce's suggestions, my co-host, my AI co-host, one of his suggestions for improving the mental health of the sector is not just a change in working practices, although obviously that is most definitely one of them, but a switch in the gender balance. He reckons we'd all be better off mentally if we worked with more women. Now, speaking personally, and I can say this because she's way, way, way away in Greece, living with women is bad for my mental health. Sorry, Ruth, but working with them apparently makes an actual positive contribution. You can listen to that show after listen to that show after this show over on YouTube, Spotify, various other platforms as well. Now, let's have a look. Peter McKenna says it's also nearly a year since that Titanic submarine disaster. Yeah, remember that one well. Jim Turner has arrived. Dan Cullen says, love the cat pal. Yeah, as I say, bit of a rarity. I did actually, I went to ConExpo and unfortunately Martin couldn't make it. So I ended up actually going around wearing this and posing in front of the machines to make it look like he was there. Peter McKenna says, Thomas have also purchased the Armco division of the company. They have. I did see that. Obviously, my focus is very much here on all things demolition and construction, and the bits that I was interested in was obviously the steel wrist and the Dyna set, and obviously the Trevi Benny as well. But good to see Thomas Plant and I are trying to save some of the jobs. Is Bruce Australian? No, Bruce is very much American. Yeah, if I could find an English voice to speak to, I would, and I'm sure that will come in the fullness of time. It seems like every day. ChatGPT for Omni is being updated, so I wouldn't be at all surprised if we saw an English voice on it some point soon. Well, he may be right, but a lot of men may be distracted with many women on site. Get a grip, people, is what I say. Can anyone get me a few caps at Hillhead? I'll see what I can do. Amen. I'd rather work with women. Yeah, I actually worked in many moons ago. I worked in 2 entirely female offices. Much better. I maybe this is me partially coming out of the closet. I very much doubt it, but it might be. I much prefer the company of women. The idea of going out for a night with just men leaves me cold. The idea of going out for a night with a bunch of women, absolutely, sign me up. Gary Muirhead, the show can't start without him, and he's just pitched up. Morning, Gary. Thank you very much indeed for being here. We might end up with a Brucey bonus. I wonder if my AI assistant Bruce knows of the existence of the Brucey bonus. I may ask him next time I get a chance. Peter McKenna says women are good at making good coffee too. I'm not entirely sure that's the aim. The reason that Bruce claims that more women on site would be good is they have better communication skills, he reckons. And the idea is that if you were surrounded by women who were open about stuff, you might open up yourself and therefore be better, as it were. Lol, when you were in the cupboard. Yes, do you remember when I was in the cupboard? It's the same room, actually. It is exactly the same room, but it's been jazzed up a little bit. So, yes, all of that. You could go and check out the Brucey bonus podcast when you're good and ready. I'll send you the link in the WhatsApp group if you so desire. But I'd like to get your thoughts. Do you think your work life would be better if you were working alongside a few more women? Love to get your thoughts on that. Now, without further ado, let me roll the intro, post the question of the day, and get this show on the road. Blimey, it's a long show today. Here we go. Oh, it's a great start to the day. Here we go. Women are good at making coffee. Okay. My wife isn't. Women are better at adjudication, says Peter McKenna. Dan Cullen says women are more invested in the job and accuracy. I totally agree. Kent Demolition. Dave Paget says, Mark, as you know, we have my daughter and niece working on site management. Yes, absolutely. Elle Paget, one of the stars of the industry, one of the unsung heroes of the industry. Love Elle to death. Steve says, women, men, and any other types, I'd work with them, not a problem. If they're good at their job, it doesn't matter what sex they are. Well said. See, there's the difference in the younger generation. You see, a lot more open to these things. Mick Norton says, and I do actually have an answer to this. Mick Norton says, ask Bruce, could you ever create a dissertation where plagiarism would never be detected? I was watching a podcast the other night featuring a guy called Sam Altman, who is the driving force behind ChatGPT. And obviously there have been concerns over the use of ChatGPT to, do dissertations and homework and all those kind of things. And they have now devised a system that can detect when an AI has created the document. And guess what system is used to detect whether AI has cooked the books? Yes, it's an AI. It's a conspiracy, I tell you. Dan Cullen says, I wouldn't mind working with a few ladies. There's a woman operator on an ADT here, hauling crush to us from the crusher on the other side. Yeah, why not? Why not? I'd listen. I'd welcome a female assistant. Absolutely would. It is Friday, the 14th of June. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony, the Walrus of Demolition. And in today's show, there are excavator launches and then there are Volvo excavator launches. Duck, there's a new Komatsu wheeled excavator in town. Case wheels out a new electric wheel loader. Plus, John Deere demolition. John Deere does demolition rather. And if you stick around for long enough, we'll give you a sneak peek at what Bell plans to show off at Hillhead in just over a week's time. But before we get to all of that, there is the small matter of today's mystery machine. Mystery machine. Yes, today's mystery machine. I'm not confident, I'll be honest. I reckon somebody will get this fairly short order, but that could be wrong. Here we go. That's what you've got to work out. I'm fairly sure there are, let me see, there are 6 slides. So you have 6 bites at the cherry if you don't get it immediately. But that's what I'm looking for. And I need to be very specific today. I need a make and I need a very specific model. It's not as clear cut as you might at first believe. Let me take that away and check the chat, see what everybody is saying. Steve Williamson reckons it's a Volvo EC230. I need specifics, people. I need specifics. Peter McKenna says, sorry, had to nip out. My TikTok toilet rolls arrived. 106 rolls for £22.50. Let me know how that works out. They're not going to be those thin ones that allow your finger to poke through. Sorry, I've just turned myself right off there. Yes, let us know. But I can tell you, the mystery machine, Steve is... close. Dan Cullen says a Volvo 145E. It is not. It is not. Need something a bit more specific, people. Please keep the guesses coming in. And while you're doing that, I'm going to take that off the screen and I'm going to remind you very quickly of today's question of the day. Yep, our question of today comes once again from that bottomless pit of intrigue and curiosity, our resident quizmaster, Mr. Gary Muirhead. And his question is this: what is your favourite season and why? Not seasoning. Don't be telling me about salt and pepper. What is your favourite season? Now, personally, I would say the fishing season, closely followed by the football season. Joking aside, in truth, huge fan of autumn. Love me a bit of autumn. Or if you're in America, the fall. The world looks lovely in autumn, all golds and browns and everything. Plus, it's a good excuse for me to wear hats and scarves to look like the rugged gentleman that I really am. What about you? What's your favourite season? Let me hop over to the chat, see if anybody's got it. Yes, they have. They have. No great surprise. Let's have a look. Jonathan Duras went for the EC400F. No. And then in very quick succession, we had at 10:15, we had Peter McKenna saying the Volvo 220. No, it's not. Dan Cullen at 10:15 said the Volvo EC350E. It is not. I can tell you that at 10:14, Steve Williamson, from a single bit of boom and dipper joint, he managed to get the fact that it was a Volvo electric EC230. It absolutely is. Absolutely is. And I can prove it. Mr. Williamson knows his kit, but he knows his Volvos. Good morning to Chris Ford as well while we're here. Morning, Chris. Can't get you on FaceAche. Why would you be on FaceAche anyway? Awful platform. Please don't ban me. Yes, Steve Williamson, congratulations. Now, on the subject of the mystery machine, it occurred to me, and I don't know why this hasn't occurred to me before. It's maybe because I'm stupid. Let me take that away. Why don't we have a league table for the mystery machine, because we have a good mix of people winning it. Steve wins quite a few, Gary wins quite a few, Ken's got a couple in the bag, Peter's got a couple in the bag, Chris Ford's got a couple in the bag. So starting in July, I'm going to do it per month. Starting in July, and I'm going to put a note in my diary, starting the 1st of July, we will run a monthly league table to see who gets the most mystery machines. And at the end of each month, there will be a prize. I don't know what the prize is. I don't know where I'm going to get the prize from. None of that matters. I'll figure that out. I'll make this stuff up as I go along, as you will know. So yes, starting the 1st of July, there will be, assuming 1st of July isn't a weekend, there will be a league table, and we will keep you posted on the league table standings as we go along. And then once a month, we'll get to the end of the month and say, okay, I declare that Steve Williamson is the winner for July. Not yet, obviously, but yeah, there you are. So let's have a look, Steve. Let's have a look. Peter McGenna says, well done, Steve. If anyone was going to get it, it had to be Steve. I totally agree. Mystery Machine never even got a chance. Teach me to be late. Yes, absolutely. There are rewards for being the early bird. Steve says, sounds good on the league table, mainly because he'll be in the running for it, I would have thought. Faceache is apparently acting up this week. Wouldn't know, never go there. I'd love that setup, says Steve. 230 electric with steel wrist. I'd happily have it. Volvo, if you're watching, fella up in Scotland quite likes that. If you got one going spare, good one, says Dan Cullen, and he is recommending a cap, a baseball cap, as a prize for the monthly winner. We shall see. Let's have a look. Chris Ford going to be the strongest player in the league, be at the bottom holding everyone up. Yes, indeed. And Steve says, send it my way. Listen, Volvo, meet Steve. Steve, meet Volvo. Yeah, I know you people know each other. You never know. They might just have one lying about at Eskilstuna and think, this is really taking up space. Maybe we'll send it to that fella, Steve. It doesn't seem likely, but you never know. Steve says, I got my winnings the other day. Yeah, the other week. Yes, you certainly did. And I don't know if he's here today, but our friend Giles from Sani actually got his Bobcat classes as well, which is good. What is Dan Cullen going to start donating his hats for the winners? That would be kind of him. No, I can't expect him to do that. And one other thing, and I'm very conscious of this, I do still have here the electric lunchbox that Gary Muirhead kindly donated as a prize. And I haven't come up with a good excuse to give it away yet, but I will. I promise I will. You have my word on that. I have over 100 now, so can send you a few, but they're partially worn. Now you keep your hats. I'll find some way of rewarding those that are good at the mystery machine. A good day collecting hats at Hillhead should see you in prizes for at least a year. Yeah, possibly. You never know. I mean, I even wonder if it's worth reaching out to a few companies and saying, we're doing this. Maybe you'd like to sponsor a month. I don't know. See how it goes. As I said, I'm making this up as I go along. So it is now time to crack on with the show. We've done the sad news and the bad news. It's now time to do the proper show. Now, I know you're all aware that Volvo has a new family of excavators on offer. Not called the F-Series, even though they kind of are, but they've got a new Volvo, a new excavator range. Now, I've featured them because we shot them up in Eskilstuna. We featured them on Instagram. We featured them across this show as well. But Volvo has now released their own film to mark the launch of those machines. Now, Volvo makes some very, 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 very good machines. Their videos are every bit as good. That that is how you launch a range of excavators. That's Hollywood level, that is, I have to say. Well, I enjoyed it. I don't think I enjoyed it quite as much as Steve, who says, erection time. Hey, make the most of it, Steve. They run out on you when you get a bit older. Trust me. Apt music, says Mike Wolf, given you were discussing your favourite season earlier. Was that the one of the seasons? I don't know my classical music at all, but thank you very much indeed for that. She runs from Volvo. I think she was running towards it. Peter McKenna says, I'm tired just from watching this one. What great music and great video as well. And Steve says, yeah, that's like a movie. It really is. I realise, Steve would know this very, very much better than I would. Excuse me. Bit of granary bread in my teeth. Yes, it is very, very, well, it's relatively easy to make video look cinematic these days. You can do all sorts of fancy stuff. But that was next level. Next level. And thank you very much indeed for that. Mike Wolf says it was indeed Vivaldi, the Four Seasons. Vivaldi. Peter McKenna says Vivaldi, fantastic composer. Yep. I always thought it was a make of car. No, I didn't. I'm making that up. Volvo video. I was expecting to see Andre Rieu in the seat of the 360. Hey, that would be a fantastic video if they could make that happen. Does anyone remember the video they did a few years ago with Dolph Lundgren? Anyone remember that? Yes, Dolph Lundgren. I like that music very much. Personally, says Graham Williams, our friend Footy. Personally, I like Wagner. Do you? Yes. Lost on. Do you know, my son Fred, who studied music, has a big collection of classical music, and he plays it a lot, and I like a lot of it. Couldn't tell you what any of it is. To the point where if I hear a bit of music, I can tell you, yes, that was a British Airways advert music, or that was the music from a cigar advert back in the 1970s. Can't actually tell you names of composers or of pieces of music. Do like a bit of classical, just don't know anything about it. Anyway, enough about me. Let's crack on, shall we? Let's have a bit of this, because we'll be back and it will be time for you to duck.
If you are enjoying this episode, please consider supporting the show. You can leave us a tip at buymeacoffee.com/demolition news.
Question. Fred listens to classical music. Fred listens to some weird and wonderful music. Yes, he listens to, he's a big rock music fan, you know, the Guns N' Roses, the Metallicas, and all of those kind of things. He loves a band called Metrics, who I know nothing about, but yeah, he's also into his, as I say, he studied music, so I guess that's all part of it. Yeah, but he plays guitar, plays piano, is annoyingly good at both of them. But yes, he does like a bit of classical music. He is a man of many talents, most of them hidden below a stern exterior. Just waiting for a fist to come round the corner. Says Dan Cullen, I listen to classical music at times. I have to admit, there have been times, particularly when I've got a long drive, I've searched for the classical music station. Yeah. Long drive, bit of classical in the background. Good for your mental health. Good for all things good for your mental health. So, assuming that is the case, some classical music accompanied by a female, you might be absolutely fine in the noggin. How about that? Come here and you learn stuff. Nothing worthwhile, but you learn stuff. Now, we're going to pop back to Intermat. Seems like an age ago, but we're going to pop back to Intermat because we filmed a film. That's what you do with films. You film them. We filmed a film of the brand new PW168 Komatsu wheeled excavator. It's about time we showed it to you, I think.
Hello, my name is Michael Watzak. I'm from Komatsu Europe. And behind me, we will see the new PW168 here at the Intermat Fair in Paris. It's our new 16 to 17 ton wheeled excavator. And I would like to show you a little bit more about the details of this new machine. So we have a wide new good machine with easy access for service and maintenance. You can reach all the major components for the greasing system, AdBlue tank, or also the filters, and step off onto the machine to do daily maintenance checks. So easy to access. We have in total 4 camera systems here installed on the machine for a good all-around visibility. We have a new designed counterweight of this machine, and it is a very compact machine, short tail machine with low transportation height for the machine for easy transport. We have also a rear view camera as standard, Komatsu engine with 110 kilowatts powerful engine with a Komatsu diesel particle filters with now 8,000 hours maintenance interval, so it's a really long lasting part. So this is our new cabin for the PW168. You can see we have nice joysticks with joystick steering as option, easy installation for a tilt rotator, which is already prepared for a tilt rotator operation, steering column which we can fully tilt back, so for good visibility when operating the machine in a job site. For on the job site you can also drive just with the joystick steering, so all operation can be done by the joystick and no need to look and search for any kind of other switches. We have a monitor holder installed, so you can add also your 3D guidance system here on the machine quite easily. And also a storage for documents. This is new, that you could put some papers in here to work with the machine more easy and fully focus on the job.
Come back to that in just a moment. Just to show you the varied conversations that we have here. Bearing in mind, this is, on the face of it, a digger show. Hitler enjoyed Wagner. Did he? It kind of seems appropriate, but Hitler enjoyed Wagner, apparently. Now, I'm fairly sure that Jim Turner has said this either to prove that he knows his shit or to make me trip up on the pronunciation. So I'm going to give it a go. Jim Turner says, I love all music. Favorite classical piece is probably the Intermezzo from Mascagni's Cavalier Rusticana. I've probably butchered that. I'm going to go and check that out. Sounds lovely. Sounds lovely. Sounds Italian. I'm down with anything Italian. Peter McKenna says, need a full or rest harness to climb up it. I thought that step was a really good idea. Really good idea. Gary Muirhead. Gary, you and me both. So come on, Scotland, score tonight. Scotland 2, Germany 0. What you can dream. That's kind of somewhere beyond a dream, I would say. I'll come back. Speaking of dreams, and I don't often share these things because they're meaningless. I have 2 boxer dogs, right? I've got a very dark coloured one, which is the bitch, and I've got a red one, which is the boy. Dreamt last night that I went up to bed and I could hear the female, the dark one, snoring. Checked in on her, and there she was on the bed snoring. Went to my bedroom, looked out the window, and both of my dogs were out the front. Now, bearing in mind my bedroom is on the first floor, the female jumped through the window, and I even in my dream I thought, well, that's bloody weird. She's asleep back there, but she's my bitch dog. Echo, I didn't name her, but her name is Echo. She had a bite on her side that never went away. So she's got a tiny little lump on her rib cage. And I felt the one that had just jumped through the window. There it was. I went and checked on the one that was snoring. That one had it too. Apparently, overnight, I managed to clone my dog. Yeah. Dan Cullen is on his way home, so Peter McKenna is saying, have a safe one. Mick Norton says, Komatsu's all servicing points accessible from the ground, a great safety bonus. I totally agree. Steve Williamson says, something you never see up here, Komatsu ducks. Now, there was a comment here somewhere. Where did it go? Sure, it was from Dan. Why can't I see? Oh, there we are. There we are. He reckons that the Komatsu is a lovely machine, but pity the cab is not great on these for space. Don't forget, we've shown it to you, and we're going to show it to you again at some point, I would imagine. There is a new Komatsu cab. There is. So you may need to change your thoughts on that one. Peter McKenna says, cab looks decent, to be fair. I totally agree. I think a lot of music in general helps with mental health, to be honest. Can change your mood. If I'm driving, I do find I get a little more aggressive, I think is the word. If I'm playing Guns N' Roses or something like that. Footy says, I like that duck. Like to give it a test drive. Komatsu. Footy, Komatsu. You get the idea. Steve says, looks a decent machine. I have to say, there was the PW168 and the 198 as well. Both launched at the same time at Intermat. I'm sure Steve saw them anyway because he went to the Komatsu stand. But yeah, I have to say, very, very impressed indeed. Gary says, once drove a PW220, 22 ton. Wow, she was a beast and some lifter. Indeed. Let's be honest. Would anyone be surprised if Komatsu made a good excavator? I don't think we would. How come this is only coming out now, joystick control on ducks? I think we've had it for a little while. I don't think that's new, but I think it's becoming more and more popular. Peter McKenna says, I have no idea. I've no idea how we got here, but here we go. In a notebook from Landsberg prison, Hitler wrote that he was dreaming of Tristan and his kin. In January 1942, according to a monologue, Ein Führer Hauptquartier, he said, Tristan is surely Wagner's greatest work. There you are. I've got nothing else to add. I like the music from Apocalypse Now. That was, was that Ride of the Valkyries? Ride of the Valkyries. Is that Wagner? Somebody, I'm sure somebody knows. Fred, is Ride of the Valkyries Wagner? Tap once for yes. In London, few companies won't let us up on machines unless you've got a harness and safety at height. I agree, but I would have thought that step up to the service points for the machine there was actually surely lower than an actual step. A dream. Wife away. Yes, wife away indeed. Which is why for the next couple of days, I will be, not today because it doesn't start until this evening as far as I know, but the next couple of days I think I shall be doing this show and then I shall be putting myself next door with the laptop to watch the football while I'm doing my whatever it is I'm doing. Jim Turner says, definitely, if music can make us remember forgotten memories and help dementia sufferers, it's a mighty powerful force. Yeah, isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Has anyone ever seen that? I'm sure there's more than one, but there was a video of some poor old guy, very, very ill with dementia and everything else, couldn't remember his daughter, couldn't remember family and everything else, put on a bit of music, and it was like somebody just turned the light back on. Unbelievable. Let's have a look. Chris Ford, Scotland has no chance. I've got them in the sweepstake, which is the kiss of death. Yeah, absolutely. If it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. Isn't that awful? And obviously, working alone, not much point in us having a sweepstake. But yeah, you do the sweepstake. I used to do it at work when I was working with a bunch of people. Put your hand in. For the second year on the trot, I've got Albania. Brilliant. My driving music is trance or techno, and boy, does it make me drive like a maniac. Yeah, absolutely. I do like a bit of techno, I have to say. Ride of the Valkyrie was a music dream by Wagner. There you are. A music drama, sorry. How do we manage to get onto Hitler? And I wonder how many cats out there are that are a spitting image of him. Isn't that remarkable? There are cats. There are in the world. There are cats that look like Hitler. There are also houses that look like Hitler. What a time to be alive. We have houses and cats that look like Hitler. Can you believe it? Right, back after this. Yes, I'm sorry. You found me distracted. I was just looking for pictures of houses and cats that look like Hitler, because that's what you do when. Excuse me. Brace yourself. Let's. Can we have the pro electrics over here and the anti electrics over there? Because I'm about to throw something into the middle of the two of you. You can argue this amongst yourselves.
The lithium-ion battery has a charge duration of 3 to 6 hours according to the application. The recharge is made easy by means of an onboard charger that can connect to any household network, allowing for 10 hours full recharge from 0 to 100, or by taking advantage of the optional portable fast charger that reduces the charging time to 1 hour from 20 to 80%, making the recharge fit perfectly the lunchtime break for a day-long use of the machine. The main battery powers 2 electric motors, one with a rated power of 17 kilowatt for the driveline, while the loader arm is powered by a 22 kilowatt electric motor to guarantee the usual case top performances in a silent and emission-free environment. The loader arm was specifically designed to minimize the front weight of the attachment and consequently increase the battery charge duration in general earth-moving operations. The 12 AV hydraulics deliver the same output and performances of comparably sized diesel-powered loaders and can be matched with a full range of attachments for additional versatility.
That's too good. Oh dear. So I can show. I'm going to do the other one in just a moment. You know, we were talking just a moment ago about cats that look like Hitler. It gets better than that. In the chat, Peter McKenna says, "My dog's ass looks like Jesus." We need photographic evidence of that. We really do. Dan Cullen says, on the program on Channel 4, the piano, there was a fantastic guy with early stages of dementia, but man, he could play piano. Another girl with neurological conditions, but man, was beautiful seeing it. If you can get a chance, I'll go and take a look at that. Gary Muirhead, We Can Dream, Crystal. Back in the cab, just listening, which means that you've missed the picture of the cat that looks like Hitler. I've got a picture of a house that looks like Hitler, but I'm going to have to convert it before I show it to you in just a moment. Peter McKenna says, a picture on the group. I'll have a look at that. We all work in construction. Getting back to the actual theme of this show, we all work in construction, so get used to seeing electric. Awesome, he says. My guess is there are people that would not necessarily agree with that. They look like you could snap them in two. I'm not entirely sure what that means. That may be relating to the photograph that he sent me. I'll have a look. There is a song for every occasion out there. Mine at the moment is simply red. Money's too tight to mention. Fell foul of the invoice cut-off date scam. Indeed, money's too tight to mention. He actually references Reaganomics in that. That's how long ago that song was. But yeah, money's too tight to mention. Remake, right? It was. I think that's a remake, but Mick Hucknall did a fantastic job on it. Is he winking at you, Peter? This is Jesus around Peter McKenna's dog's back end. I've gone now. That's it. The game's over. Let me play one of these and try and regain my composure.
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
Guys, the world just went completely bonkers. You have to bear with me. I've got to do this. Let me just see if I can do it now. Just please bear with me. This is too good not to share. Let's have a look. If I just airdrop that to myself, and I will fire it up in just a moment. Right. Bear with me. I need to get this up. I will show you the house that looks like Hitler in a second. But you know, Peter McKenna just said that his dog's ass looks like Jesus. I thought he was joking. I thought I was missing a joke. Have a look at this. It does. It's even got feet. That is the best thing I have ever seen in my entire life. Is that evidence? Is that evidence of the second coming? Let's have a look. My last comment was, let me see. I've lost it. My last comment was to the mini case shovel, Mark. Okay, fine. Is that because Peter's dog's ass is holy? Well done, Darv. I like that. What have I started? Yeah, what have you started? Oh my God! Now looking at Peter. I just saw it on Snapchat. What the actual fuck has happened to this life? I've no idea. But what I would say is, I'm blaming you. I didn't put that up. I did on the show, but I didn't start this conversation. Somebody mentioned Hitler and Wagner, and that's how these things fall apart. Andy Darvell, praise the Lord. Yes, bow down to Peter McKenna's dog's rear end. Summertime. Oh no, we'll come back to that. OMFG, yes, indeed, and laughter. Laughter is good for the mental health. Well, on that basis, I should be absolutely rocking and rolling today. Thank you so much for that, Peter. That is quite possibly the best thing I've seen this week. I don't even know. Call the RSPCA. Peter is home alone with 2 dogs and Jesus. Ah, dear. See if your dog can walk on water. That would be a trick. That really would be a party piece. I have completely not regained my composure. So while I'm doing that and while I'm trying to figure out how to show you the house that looks like Hitler, because why not? John Deere, Demolition. What's not to love?
We put the John Deere product through the most extreme situations. We're very hard on machines. It's all steel and concrete here. It's a lot different than being in all dirt. One of the main things we do is we tear down buildings, and that's very hard on machines. We run a pretty excavator heavy fleet, and we expect a 10-hour working day out of every machine with no issues every week. My name is Anthony Jordan, and I am the Vice President of Safeco Environmental. Historically, we've been a demolition and asbestos abatement company, and over the years, and when I joined on, we decided to branch out into other things such as site development, land clearing, stream bank remediation, and just general earthwork. This project here is the former Century Aluminum. In 2021, we came on site to address the initial issues, and we began a lot of the demolition and remediation. One of the things that really excites me about this particular job is that it takes something that is otherwise unwanted or unusable or maybe even an eyesore in some situations and paves the road for a new development. Just a new face for this area. One of the reasons why we are a pretty Deere heavy fleet is because of our dealer. And the same values and the same expectations that I have out of our employees and our family, because this is a family run business, is very similar to what we experience out of Leslie. If we have issues, Leslie would send their techs out here to stay till midnight just to get us running in the morning. It wouldn't be an issue. They'd jump right on it. So having that kind of support out of your Deere fleet, it's incredible.
Beast of a Deere, says Steve Williamson. I totally agree. Next Conexpo, he says, I'm getting contacts to visit a site with Deere machines. Wouldn't that be awesome? I tell you what, why don't we do it together? That would be a hoot. He also says, got invited to a site last time, barbecue and go on some big cats. Didn't have the time. Got to make the time. We're looking at Mine Expo at the moment, Planning to go out before and staying after, because, why wouldn't you? Let's have a look. Nice machine, says Dan Cullen. Jonathan Dura says nice machine as well. Gary Muirhead, we're going back down this avenue again. See if your dogs can turn water into wine, Peter. I'm sure Ruth would be interested in a puppy. Okay, yes, she would. I never thought I'd see the day where, let me get rid of the comment because you need a full screen for this. I never thought I'd see the day where showing you a house that looks like Hitler would be the second funniest thing that you'll see today. But after this, here we go. Would you want to live in a house that looks like Mein Führer? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Definitely, I'm going a few days before, staying a few after. Yeah, absolutely. It's a long way to go. Las Vegas is a bloody long way to go. So while you're there, you may as well make the absolute most of it if you possibly can. I'm going to try desperately to round this show out because we do need to play a final video. We'll be right back after this. On Tuesday next week, it will be exactly 1 week until the doors open at Buxton in Derbyshire for the long-awaited return of the Hillhead exhibition. I'm ready. Fred's ready. I know Gaz Evans is ready. I think a fair few people here in our audience are ready as well. And I can tell you who else is ready. Bell.
We hear you. Your need for a safer job site, more uptime from your machines, greater productivity, lower emissions. You inspire us to work harder, to aim for extraordinary, to give you what you're looking for, and more. Get a load of our latest product innovations at Hillhead 2024. Autonomous ADTs that support site interoperability. Tracked carriers that make moving muck a whole lot more possible. 4x4 ADTs that offer tighter turning circles with improved tyre life, and water tankers customizable to your needs. Visit our Bell stand and see how we can work together to take your business to the next level. Bell, celebrating 70 years of excellence at Hillhead 2024.
A 70th anniversary for the mighty Bell. Looking forward to seeing them. Lover of their trucks. Be good to catch up with them as well. Anybody know Nick Grout? Used to be with JCB, now the managing director over there. Absolutely superb. Nice machine, says Dan Cullen. Nice machine, says Jonathan Doris. Definitely. Oh no, we've done all this. I'm sorry. I'm crying, says Peter McKenna. Yes, houses. Nothing more likely to make you laugh than a house that looks like Hitler. I can see I straightened your face with my last picture on the group, Mark. Yes, I'm not going to be displaying that one. Thank you for sending it, but I'm not going to be displaying it, just in case. Mike Wolf says, if you haven't been to Red Rock Canyon to the northwest of Las Vegas, it's worth a trip. There you are, travel advice from the man at World Highways. What better recommendation could you possibly have? Look forward to the Saturday show. I'm not happy, can't make Hillhead, but more important, things come up, need to sort. Yeah, not a problem at all. Not at all. Mike is back again. The best times I've had in Las Vegas when I've rented motorbikes and gone out for a ride in the canyons or visited the Whitney BMX track, having arranged to borrow a bike and do a training session here. For those of you that don't know, Mike Wolf, big BMX man. Steve Williamson says Bell trucks are horrendous. They do the job, but it's night and day with a Volvo. We have a Bell and a Volvo. Well, let's be absolutely honest. Let's be honest. I mean, I as I say, I love me a Bell, but Volvo is the ADT benchmark, I would say. 70 years, hard to believe. Indeed, Jonathan Duras, that was on fire. Bell at Balmer had an awesome stand. They most certainly did. Yes, just a very quick reminder. I'll do it anyway, but I'm just going to remind you very quickly. I'll be back here tomorrow. I'm going to. Really am going to try and avoid Nazi dictators and cats and dogs and Jesus and everything else. because, why wouldn't you? But I will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. for the Saturday social. And it is just going to be a turn up, have a chin wag. I'm going to let you dictate which direction. Well, let's be absolutely honest. You've already dictated the route of travel for today, but even more so tomorrow. If you've got a bee in your bonnet or I can't think of anything else that means that. If you've got a bee in your bonnet or if there's anything you'd like to discuss, then tomorrow is the day. And if you'd like to jump on the show, you can be a guest if you like. I'm more than happy to share you the link, and you can pop up on the screen and sit beside me like we're in the same room, only you won't be able to smell me. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I smell beautiful today. I smell it's lost on you. It's lost on you, but it is. There you are. That's why. Get it in focus, get it in the light. Yes, green savage. Oh, you have no idea. No idea how good I smell. Let me just have I've just been advised to have a glance, a quick glance at the. Okay. Let me I don't even know what's going on anymore. Bear with me for 2 ticks. I just need to sort this out. Where's it gone? Here we go. Airdrop that to me. Can I just say, Peter, I really appreciate your input, but could we not do this off air? It would make life so much easier. Where has it gone? Where has it gone? I can't find it. That's weird. No, I've got 2 of the. Hang on 1 second. I think I've pressed the wrong button. Oh dear. It will be worth the wait, I promise you. So we've done dogs' rear ends that look like Jesus. We've done houses that look like Hitler. We've done cats that look like Hitler as well. Well, apparently the dogs want in on the act as well. The furry Führer. What would you name a dog that looked like that? What would you name a dog like that? You couldn't. You couldn't go to the park and shout, "Here, Adolf," could you? Because even today, I think that would probably be frowned upon. This show's been a disaster. I don't even know how we got here, but please stick around. I'll be right back after something else with the usual crack. Let's try and regain our composure with MB Crusher. I'll see you in a second. Right. Given that music is good for your mental health, let me get some playing in the background. There we go. Bit of music in the background, down to a number 14, because that's how we like it. What would you name that dog? Hang on, where is he? Where is the dog? What would you name that dog? Steve says, name it Hitler. You can't do that. There's no way you could go to your local park and shout, "Here, Hitler." I mean, for one thing, it sounds like "Heil Hitler." You can't be doing that. There's no. I don't know. You'd have to give it a cute name. I don't know what. Peter McKenna is going down the same path. He is also saying, "Name the dog Hitler." Poor little puppy being called Hitler. You lot are bloody horrible. Right, okay. We've already said all the hellos, so I am going to go straight. Let me take Hitler the dog away because, let's have a look. Yes, Jeff, a very quick reminder, because that was what reminded me of it. There is a new episode of our AI on AI podcast that is going to drop in 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Be on YouTube, Spotify, various other places as well. If you'd like to go and have a look at that, you please feel free. So our question of the day today, which came from Gary Muirhead, was, what is your favourite season and why? I went for autumn. Quite like spring, but every spring brings with it the need to completely renovate my garden, which is a pain in the arse. Don't like doing that. And summer, look at me, pasty. Can't be doing too hot. But autumn, yes, I'm all about the autumn. My wife is clearly watching and has just sent something. I'm not going to tell you what she just said. Oh, definitely not going to tell you what she just... It was rude. She's a disgrace. She should be ashamed of herself. Good morning to Steve Kerslake over at Construction Sport. She just joined us over on Instagram. Morning, Steve. Keep up the good work, my friend. Keep fighting the good fight. All things mental health wise. Peter McKenna apparently is drowning 106 rolls of toilet paper from TikTok at the price of £22.50. I'm impressed by the price, but I'd like to know why you need 106. Did you have a curry last night? Did you? Be honest. No pulling the wool over Steve Williamson's eyes in terms of machines, because he quite correctly guessed that our mystery machine today was the Volvo electric EC230, and I'll draw up some rules and regulations or something on how we're going to do with the league table, but we will, starting July the 1st, we will start doing a league table for the mystery machine, and there'll be a monthly prize if you win. You fill in the gaps. You know what I'm talking about. Let's have a look. Jonathan Duras loves him. Let me take that away. Don't need that now. Loves him a bit of autumn and winter. Wild weather, Halloween, bonfire night, and Christmas. Yes, Christmas. Not overly keen on Halloween. All feels a bit American. And I know I'm regurgitating a friend's joke here, but why are all the female costumes now slutty? You can't just be a witch on Halloween anymore. You have to be a slutty witch. You can't just be a nurse. You need to be a slutty nurse. You can't be just Princess Leia. You need to be slutty Princess Leia. Why is that? Why did we go down that road? I don't know. Chris Ford says going to be the strongest player in the league when our new Mystery Machine League table starts. He will be at the bottom, holding everyone up. Oh, you've had a couple of wins, Chris, haven't you? Sure you have. A good prize for the Mystery Machine will be a mystery prize. Ta-da! Yeah, it would. Wouldn't that be a good idea? Yes, maybe that's the idea. Maybe I'll just put together a mystery box. Don't tell you what it is. Sometimes it'll be good. Sometimes maybe not. We shall see. I'm not going to dwell on Steve Williamson and his erection time, which, given that he's probably wearing a kilt while he's at work, evident, I would say. Evident. Run away, people. Run away. See, this is the class of viewer that we like. You play a Volvo video and immediately Mike Wolf identifies the fact that the music in the background was Vivaldi's Four Seasons. See, we're a cultured bunch here. You're a cultured bunch here. I obviously didn't know that. You get the idea. Who else do we have here? Peter McKenna. See, culture everywhere. My favourite piece of music is J.S. Bach, Fugue in D minor, played on a church or theatre organ. Should I do the joke or should I just let it go? Play a wonderful tune on an upright organ. Let's just move on, pretend I didn't say that. Hitler. This is where this. If there were a timeline for this show, here we were heading in a straight line through Volvo, through Case, through Komatsu, and then up pops Mick Norton, and the show took a sharp turn to the left, and we ended up doing Jesus and Hitler. Thank you for that, Mick. I blame you. You are the reason that it all went pear-shaped. Come on, Scotland. Yeah, absolutely. Come on, Scotland. Wouldn't you love to see that? Wouldn't you love to see that? I have not a Scottish bone in my body, but I will be rooting for the Tartan Army this evening, and no mistake. Never mind the fact that it's the Germans. I'll be rooting for the Tartan Army. Let's have a look. Timeline just full of Hitler. Just mad. I'm sure there were more answers on our question of the day. Here's the thing. So Chris Ford says, song for every occasion out there, but mine at the moment is simply read. Money's too tight to mention. Phil Fowler, the invoice cut-off date scam. And I know where you're coming from. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that there actually is a song for every occasion? There really is. And I was kind of reminded of this by the fact that my wife is currently in Greece. I was in Greece with my wife at the time when my dad passed away. And I was sat there, AirPods in, obviously, feeling a very long way from home. And the song that came on was The Verve, The Drugs Don't Work. And it was talking about, listen to the song. Very, very sad. Yeah, got me right in the feels. That did. I've got to be honest. Let's have a look. Question of the day. Gary Muirhead says, "Summertime. Just love going on holiday." I like going on holiday, but that's where my wife and I. I mean, my wife, those of you that have seen her, know that she is quite dark skinned. So she loves the sunshine. She'll sit in the sun all day long, from dawn till dusk, given the opportunity. Whereas I'm in the shade, trying not to get touched by the sun's rays. I'd love to go on a proper cold holiday. I mean, I've been to places where there's snow and ice and everything else, but I'd love to do a cruise up to the Arctic Circle. Mention that to my wife, and it's like I've mentioned hacking off one of her legs. She's not a fan at all. Oh my God, this show has gone to the dogs. Let's be absolutely honest. It didn't have far to go, did it? Jesus and Hitler. Next it'd be cows and horses. Let's not go down there. Let's not go that way. Steve says, winter. Love the snow. Working the machine at night with the lights. All the lights he says. Not exactly the same thing, but I took my wife and my daughter to the airport early hours of the morning back on Tuesday because I had an early flight. I'd forgotten how much I like driving in the dark, and I think it's lack of glare. I think that's or the lack of sunshine anyway. But also you can see cars coming from a mile off because of the lights and everything else. Love me a bit of night driving. Quite happily. If somebody said to me, drive through the night to get yourself to Glasgow, I wouldn't even hesitate. Let's have a look. Recommendations for while you're in Las Vegas. Red Rock Canyon to the northwest of Las Vegas. The much-travelled Mike Wolf making his travel recommendations. The Mike Wolf Guide to Tourism. That's a book I'd read. Call It Eddie. Now, there's a niche reference. Anybody else know why Jim Turner is recommending that the puppy that looks like Hitler is called Eddie? We'll get to the bottom of that in just a minute. Jim Turner, I see what you did there. Peter McKenna says the words equanimity and sang-froid are common synonyms for composure. While all three words mean evenness and mind under stress, composure implies the controlling of emotion or mental agitation by an effort of will or a matter of habit. Are you using ChatGPT again? Stop that. Just send me photographs of your dog's rear end. Question of the day. Peter McKenna is going for spring, autumn and winter, hate summer, can't breathe. Yeah. Call the dog De Fuhrer. Here, De Fuhrer. No. Question of the day. Winter and spring, love it. 3-ply toilet rolls for £22.50, 106 for 106 is a bargain when well-known brands retail at £5 for 9 rolls. Welcome, one and all, to Bargain Hunt with Peter McKenna. Thanks for that, Peter. Chris Ford, question of the day: summer, it's good for sightseeing. Think I know where you're going with that as well. Steve's. Oh dear. That's it. Game over. Steve's erection comment would have been more apt for the last picture I presented. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. If you think this show has been a disaster. Oh God, can't even speak Queen's English anymore. If you think the show has been a disaster, the audience doesn't agree. Well said, Chris. Mystery prize. Open the box and there's nothing in it. I could do that. Don't tempt me. I nearly turned off when people started talking about football. I'd rather watch paint dry, says Peter McKenna. Mike Wolf. Now, this is where houses really get interesting. As my wife is German and I'm Scottish, I think our sons will have divided loyalties over the Scotland-Germany game. 1980. This is not an international thing. This is a national football thing. West Ham, who were in the second division, or the old second division at the time, they'd made it to the FA Cup final, where they were about to take on the mighty Arsenal. They were complete underdogs and everything else. So there I am, when I would have been 15 years old. 15 years old. And I've got West Ham shirt, West Ham scarf, West Ham hat. And my grandparents arrived to watch the FA Cup final with us. And my grandmother arrived wearing an Arsenal rosette. You have no idea. You have no idea the abuse that I gave her when West Ham, the mighty Trevor Brooking, stooped to head home the winning goal and beat the mighty Arsenal. We hardly spoke after that. Well, not for a day or two anyway. Love that song too. Drugs don't work, just make you worse. And U2 Streets Have No Name. There is a U2 song. What is it called? All I Want Is You. If anybody's there, I'll be honest, I'm not entirely. Joshua Tree and Rattle and Hum, fantastic U2 albums, but after that, I kind of lost interest. But there is a song out there called All I Want Is You. 'Tis a masterpiece, really is. I'd love to cruise in the Arctic. Yeah, you and me both. Maybe I just need to abandon the other half, Dan, and me and you go and do it on our own. When we were kids, we used to throw pianos down mine shaft just to see if we could get an A flat minor. You see, I'm on the wrong side of the camera. Get Chris Ford on the air, it would be a laugh a minute. Not on a joke of that quality, obviously, but it really would. On your way to Glasgow, you can collect me too, okay? One of the best shows ever. Absolutely love Bottom. Miss Rick massively. Somebody got the Eddie Hitler reference. Yes, it was Bottom. And Rick Mail. Yeah. He is one of those. And don't want to end up on a sad note, but there are certain people that I don't think you realise just how good they are until they're gone. Rick Mail, I would say, was one, and another one, I think, well, another two, actually, when, and God forbid it happens anytime soon, but when Smokey Robinson and Stevie Wonder finally go to meet their maker, and I'm sure they'll be sat by his side when they do, that will be, I think the world will go, man alive, they were good. Stevie Wonder, quite possibly the greatest musician of all time, quite possibly. Got the lot. Jim Turner says, question of the day, autumn, not too hot, usually dry, enough daylight to get work done. Yeah, absolutely. And as I say, I get to dress like a country gentleman in autumn. Look a bit of, I probably look a bit of a Burke most of the time, but you look a bit of a Burke doing that in summer. But come the autumn, you've got your scarf on, you've got your hat on, you've got your long coat on, and man alive, I look as good as I smell. I know you think I'm kidding. I really do. Really do. Yes, Jim Turner, brilliant. Absolutely loved watching the comedy show Bottom, and not what you're thinking of, you dirty lot. Yeah, it was Bottom. Glad that I have to say, Jim, hats off to you for that. Eddie Hitler. Wouldn't have come up with that. Morning, Paul Latham. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you very much indeed. Most of the U2 songs are related to the troubles in Northern Ireland. They were for a while, before Bono decided to save the world. Hard Hat and a Hammer by Alan Jackson is a good construction song. I need to go and look that up. Haven't heard that. I got to go, says Steve. Away to drive a bell dumper for a bit. Back be fun later. Okay. Walking Man Blues by Merle Haggard. I'm working on a building with Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys. Working on the Highway by Bruce Springsteen. The House that Jack Built by Aretha Franklin. If I Were a Carpenter by Tim Hardin. If I Had a Hammer by somebody. I don't know who. It's an old one. Who remembers Comic Strip with Rick and Ed? I do indeed. I always thought Comic Strip was a bit hit and miss. But bearing in mind I would have been 14 or thereabouts when the Young Ones came out, I thought the Young Ones was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. Mainly because my dad hated it. My dad hated the Young Ones. I thought it was hilarious. Have a great afternoon, lads. See you all tomorrow. Stay safe, listen to your tunes, and be happy. Well said, Dan. Well said. Good advice on which to end the show. As I say, I will be back here. I'll be back here tomorrow, 10 a.m. for the Saturday social. We've got a full week of shows next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for the Breakfast Show. And on Wednesday, we're doubling up because we've got the fine, upstanding French gentleman that is Gilles Ronnet from Caterpillar, who will be joining us at 7 p.m. on Wednesday to talk about all things Caterpillar, all things demolition. It's going to be a good one. Please try and get on board if you can. Johnny Cash, If I Were a Carpenter, Folsom Prison Blues in the Highwayman. Yep, indeed. Folsom Prison Blues, one of my dad's favourites. Yeah. I just need to very quickly check LinkedIn because it's flashing at me and I don't know if it's related to this. No, it's not. So we are done. We're done. People, go and have a fine and noble day. I will, just before we go, I would like to just show you what. Praise be. That's all I can say. Praise be. Thank you so much for that, Peter. I'm going to be sitting here sending that to friends and family for the rest of the day, probably. Everybody have a fantastic day. Hope to see you tomorrow. If not, have a great weekend. And my final point, just after I've done this, got to go. The belt repairmen are here. Hopefully catch you tomorrow. Frank Sinatra, I Did It My Way. Chris Ford, well done indeed. Bye all. Bye all. Catch you tomorrow. Have a good afternoon and a great evening. Gary Muirhead says, do we still have the Breakfast Show playlist? We do. It's on Spotify. We do indeed. We absolutely do. Bye, Chris and Dan. I was going to say something. Can't remember what it was now. No idea. I'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. I'll see you tomorrow if you're around. If not, I'll see you. I know what I was going to say. Hope to see you tomorrow. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you Monday. Either way, come on, Scotland. Sorry to Michael's wife, but come on, Scotland. See you soon. All the best.